So, these are all cases that MPC toolbox is intended to handle, and it in general assumes the possibility of all of these cases. So, your problem is structured to handle all of this. Okay. So, the command it will create MPC controller. Okay. Let us go back and think about the first lecture on MPC. What did MPC contain? MPC contained a model, right? It used future predictions of the model. So, future predictions means two things. Future predictions means a horizon, and there were two horizons, prediction horizon okay. Then we had the objective function. The objective function requires weights and constraints. Okay. Then there was an optimizer. Okay. It computed xk plus 1 up to xk plus m minus 1. You implemented xk and you did this recursively, sorry uk, and you did this recursively. At the next step, when you get all of that information, you will do a state update also. Okay. So, state update which from the previous to previous week, we know this is some kind of an estimator. Okay. And there might be a few other things that the MPC controller would require. Okay. So, this is what we know. Okay. So, the first thing is the model. Okay. So, let us just look at let us say a 2 input 1 output system. So, let us say G11 is 1 divided by 2s plus 1. Okay, and let us say G12 was 0.5 divided by 1.2 s plus 1 and e to the power minus s, let us say. This makes it G12. Okay. Let us say based on this, we wanted to create a discrete time state space model that we can say is C2D SS let us say 0.2 was the sampling interval. This becomes our discrete time state space model with 2 states, 2 inputs, 1 single output, right. Your standard, nothing very really different from your standard state space model. Let us say now we want to create an MPC controller based on this state space model. Okay, and we do it. Let us say we call that MPC controller as M1 and we initialize it with G. Okay, an MPC controller will have a sampling interval inherited from G, but we can always give that sampling interval explicitly. I am giving it explicitly because you will need to provide sampling interval. If you want to provide anything other than the model, if you want to provide, then you will need to provide sampling interval. Okay. So, this is what, okay. So, we talked about horizons, we did not specify horizons, so it has assumed certain horizons. We did not specify weights, so it has assumed certain weights. Okay. So, 2 MVs, one output variable, the output variable is also measured. There are ways to specify unmeasured output variables, there are ways to specify measured disturbances, there are ways to specify unmeasured disturbances. Okay. Weights, there are no weights on MV, there are weights on MV rate, there is weight on output variables. Ignore ECR, okay, that is for constraint relaxation. Okay. And last thing is state estimation. Okay. So, let us go back to what we had. Model, check, prediction and control horizons, it gave default, weights, it gave default, constraints, by default none was given, optimizer, automatic, state estimator is going to use Kalman filter. So, these are the things that your MPC controller has given. In the problem, based on the problem statement, you may want to change this, you may want to change this, you may want to change this. Do not change this. This may be at a later stage, not for this particular project. Okay. So, now how do we change these values? Before changing these values, let us look at our MPC controller element. Okay, this was the MPC object, but this is not in the form that would be very useful to us. Let us use the command called get. Get is not an MPC toolbox command, get is a MATLAB command. Okay. Yeah. So, this will get you, sorry. So, this will get you the information about the MPC controller, right. So, you have done object oriented programming a little bit, C++, Java or anything, some ideas you have, okay. If not, that's okay, I mean that won't hurt, okay. To access any of these variables, you can either use get M1 comma let us say MV, okay, and it will give you information about what MV is. So, MV is a structure, okay, just as M1 was a structure, okay, and M1 had these fields TS, P, C, model, MV, OV, DV, W, optimizer, notes, user data. Notes is for us to give any notes if we want, okay. The other way is to just say M1 dot MV, same thing, okay. So, just as you use get M1, you can use set M1 to give the values, or M1 dot MV equal to something will give the values to that. Okay. Let us do get M1 again. Let us say you want to change the prediction horizon. M1 dot P, if you make it say 15, okay, prediction horizon gets changed to 15. Let us say you want to change the control horizon. Okay. Control horizon changes to 5. Okay. Now, model, you see model for M1 is not a state space model, but it is a structure, and you will see why. Okay. It is a structure with multiple fields: plant model, disturbance model, noise model. Okay. It also has this thing called nominal. This is more for if, for example, you are using a non-linear control or a sequentially linearized control. So, if you have linearized your system around a particular nominal operating condition. So, for MPC to know that information, this particular nominal structure is there. For us, it is not relevant. Remember, how did we create the M1 model? We created M1 by giving G as the model. Okay. G was a 1 output, 2 input, 2 states state space model. Okay. As you can see over here, this is what it is: 1 output, 2 input state space model. How will you access that model? The model that is called plant, how will you access it based on all that we have seen? M1 dot model dot plant. Okay. Every time if a child is a structure, to access the children of that structure, you will just use dot the name of that child field. Okay. So, we have M1 dot model dot plant. Okay. As you can see, it is the exact same model that we had given. Okay. A, our B matrix, our C matrix, our D matrix. Okay. And there is something called input groups: manipulated inputs, measured outputs. Okay. If we wanted to call variable 1 as a manipulated input and a variable 2 as a measured disturbance, we could do this also. Okay. How to do that? You can go and look up the user guide. It's not very difficult. All that you need to do is your model, you can give the names of the input streams. Okay. If you give the names of the input streams as MV, it becomes a manipulated variable. You give it as MD, it will become a measured disturbance. If you give it as UD, it becomes an unmeasured disturbance. Okay. Remember, what we have said is the difference between a disturbance and an input is whether or not you have the ability to change it. Okay. Both disturbances as well as inputs are inputs. In one case you can change, in another case you can't change. Measured disturbances are something that you can't change, but you can measure, so that you can use as a feed forward control. Unmeasured disturbance you can neither change nor can you measure, which means that their effect can only be seen on the outputs, and therefore you can only do feedback control on them. Okay. Again, same concepts that you have learnt in other control courses also, we are just explicitly talking about that over here. For this project, all those complications, for project 1B, all those complications are not there. So, you do not really have to worry about it. Okay. So, if you want to change, let us say if you want to give a disturbance model also, okay, then you will have to give m1 dot model dot disturbance equal to say G3, and that will give it a disturbance model. Okay. Let us not worry about that right now, we will come to that when we have to cross the road. Okay. These three, or at least these two, they are used for giving constraints, okay, and this will be used for giving weights. So, let us do the weights first and then constraints. These are all structures, okay. You can give m1 dot w or you can give m1 dot weights, both are possible, okay. So, manipulated variables weights, manipulated variable rate weights and output variable weights. As we had said, MPC toolbox aims to be a little bit more generic. Okay. The MPC objective we have seen is basically this part. Okay. Several times you also need this. Let us say you have a 3 output 5 input system, in which case you have the flexibility of not only specifying the 3 output set points, but up to 2 input set points also, right. How many degrees of freedom does NU input system have? It has NU degrees of freedom. Okay. Assuming that your entire system satisfies the controllability requirements, okay, you can always control 5 things based using those 5 inputs, but you have only 3 outputs. If you have 3 outputs, in addition to controlling those 3 outputs at their set points, you can additionally control 2 inputs as well. Okay. That is what this T matrix is meant to do. Okay. Confused? Do not worry, do not do T. Okay. There might be certain cases where this T is required, only in those cases this is relevant, if not, do not worry about it. Okay. if you have a 2 input 2 output system and you also specify T as a non-zero matrix, you will immediately not have integrator in your system. Okay. Don't we'll come to how that happens at some point of time. Okay. Having T0 does not guarantee you an integrator, but having T non-zero, be very careful, and that is the reason why I am saying that at this stage let us not worry about this part at all. So, that is why I have said do not use this for now. Okay. So, some of those things I am not just pushing under the carpet, I am also giving you the background. It is easier for me to just say that do not use for now and so on, but you know, just caveats. I am telling you what is possible, but giving you caveats. So, for now do not use it. For your research you might need it, for this course no. Okay. For the most of the problems you will probably not use this. Okay. So, m1 dot w dot mv rate. I hope this is correct. Yeah. Okay. Let us say you want to change this to 1 1. You just change this to equal to 1 1. What does this mean? Q1, sorry, Q is not this. Q is actually okay. Using GUI, you cannot give time varying rates. Using this interface, you can give time varying rates. You can give different rates at k equal to 0 or I equal to 0, another weight at I equal to 1, another weight at I equal to 2. Let us say m was equal to 5, right. So, you have u0, u1, u2, u3, u4, those are the 5 times. Your mv was 2 dimensional. So, if you give 10 elements, DAG of 10 elements becomes the weights. First 2 elements at time 0, next 2 elements at time 1, next 2 elements at time 2, next 2 elements at time 3, next 2 elements at time 4. Okay. Possible for you to do that. Same thing with R also. Okay. So, this is how you change the weights. Let us look at the constraints. So, why is this a 1 by 2 struct array? Let us do this also. M1 dot OV. OV stands for output variables. Why is this a 1 by 1 struct, whereas this is a 1 by 2 struct? 2 input, 1 output. Okay. What does this mean? No, I mean constraint of yk min is negative infinity, constraint for yk max is positive infinity. This is for min, this is for max. ECR is relaxations, do not worry about them. Okay. Do not worry about scale factor also. If when is scale factor used? Let us say your model is given in terms of kilograms and you want to use it in dimensionless form. And you can give, let us say you can give a scale factor, let us say the value goes from 0 to 100 kilograms and you want it to be scaled by say 50. You can give scale factor as 50 or 1 by 50 and it will just multiply diagonally with that. For the most part, I personally do not use the scale factors at all. I do that in the problem formulation and come up with the final problem that this will solve. Okay. too many things you do not want to give under the black box. Okay. So, my recommendation is always to keep scale factor equal to 1, because there are certain assumptions that the authors of the toolbox would have made about how all of these things work, and if those assumptions do not match your assumptions, you will get different results, and those assumptions never get explicitly specified. You will have to glean it from the equations that you have given, that they have provided. I would very strongly suggest not using scale factor, not using units, okay, unless you have a very strong reason to do so. So, let us look at the constraints for the manipulated variables. What is min? U min. Max would be U max. Min ECR, max ECR, ignore. Rate min? Delta U min. Rate max, delta U max. Rate min ECR, rate max ECR, do not worry about it. Okay. Target is also to be ignored. Target is if this is not what you have, but instead you have okay, that is what that is for. Again ignore. Name, unit, scale factor. Name is again for you to identify units and scale factor. It's okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. So, it is 1 by 2 times struct array. So, the first this is for the first variable, this is for the second variable. Okay. Got it? What else? Okay. I think M1 dot optimizer. Yeah. So, these are the various things for the optimizer, and yeah. So, everything is default. Okay, warm start versus cold start. Cold start basically means that you just start the optimizer arbitrarily. Warm start basically means that the optimizer will use the previous optimized solution in order to start. I am saying this because there was a question while state space MPC. The question was, I mean, do we completely discard uk plus 1, k plus 2 up to k plus m minus 1? We actually do not completely discard them, we will actually use them for warm start of optimizer. Why is because we know that our model is reasonable, our model is not, does not deviate completely from the plant. So, if the model is reasonable, our inputs k plus 1, k plus 2 up to k plus m minus 1 are also going to be reasonable. So, when you do this in a receding horizon manner, okay, next time your uk plus 1 will be reasonably close to your previous times uk plus 1, it will not be too far away from it. Okay. That is the idea behind warm start. Okay. One of the first things that you do in a research area called fast MPC. If you want to apply MPC to electrical, mechanical or electromechanical or aeromechanical systems, you require MPC to be super fast. It started in process engineering or chemical engineering fields, and where the sampling intervals are sometimes of the order of minutes or several seconds, 10 second, 20 second, 50 second, 1 minute, 2 minute. On the other hand, in electrical applications, the sampling interval might be something like 20 hertz, so 0.05 seconds. If you need MPC to be super fast in that manner, you need to have various different strategies, and one of these strategies is the warm start strategy. Okay. Yeah. So, for your assignment, for your project, what you need to do is all the project or the settings, you need to just provide it to your controller in the form that I have shown. Okay. And then run the controller. Two options for you: run the controller using sim. This should not run. Yeah. Oh well, it did. It's not, did not run. Your output, your desired set point was 0, and your you started with 0, so it didn't do anything. Not that it did not run. Okay. The help MPC/sim will tell you about how to do the simulations. Simulate MPC object with T is the number of steps and R is the reference signal. So, T is the number of steps that you need to give. I guess you can give 50, R is the reference signal, 0.4 minus 0.4. That is how you can do the simulation. Okay. For my research, I do not use sim, I use MPC move. What does sim do? Sim does the calculations 1 by 1 for 50 time steps. Your plant, your model, plant model, plant model, plant model, and does the overall control. Okay. What will MPC move do? MPC move only gives you UK. So, you run the plant independently yourself, then you use MPC move to calculate U, then run the plant, move, plant, move. Okay. In whichever mode you want, you can do the project. This particular project you can very easily do, or for that matter project 2 also, you will be able to do it in either ways. Okay. Where you will not be able to do in the either ways. Let us say your plant is a non-linear plant, but your model is a linearized model. In that case, you will have to use MPC move in order to calculate UK. Okay. In addition to giving UK, you can potentially ask for additional info also. The info can also give you UK plus 1, UK plus 2 up to k plus m minus 1. UK will also give you y k plus 1, k plus 2 up to k plus p. It will also give you the corresponding x k plus 1, k plus 2 up to k plus p. If ECR was used, then what the slack variables are, and QP code will give you the exit code from QP solver, because QP solver can sometimes actually give you results, but it will also tell you that these results are unreliable. So, that you can access to the QP code. Okay. Again, this last part you probably won't need it for the project. Okay. So, for this project, please go ahead and use sim if you want to, but try out MPC move once you get comfortable with your MPC controller. So, right, sim will do all of this for you. MPC move will do only this. Okay. So, in your loop you will have to do this, this and this for MPC. Sim will do all of it for you. Okay. If this is confusing, do not worry about it, try sim first, and then if you want, if you have time, try MPC move, and then we can discuss offline. Okay. All right.